Welcome to week 3 of the GoGamecocks.com South Carolina football preview show. South Carolina 1-1, 0-1 in the SEC, coming off a loss to, I can almost barely say this, Kentucky. Now they head to number 7 and unbeaten Georgia on Saturday. David, 6 o'clock, Sanford Stadium. What should South Carolina expect from the Bulldogs?
Well, Josh, they should expect running, and more running. Georgia knows exactly what it has in Nick Chubb and the fleet of tailbacks behind him. They're going to run the ball at South Carolina, challenge the middle of that defensive front, and try to do exactly what Kentucky did, at least for the first half last week. And, you know, while JoJo Kemp and Stanley Boone Williams are great players, they're not nearly as good as Nick Chubb is. So it could be very interesting from a defensive standpoint. Georgia's basically doing what they need to do. They're trusting their tailbacks to run their offense. Their starting quarterback, Grayson Lambert, the Virginia transfer, he's only 19 of 33 for less than 300 yards over 2 games. And you got to give Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, credit. He's got the talent at tailback, so he's using the talent at tailback. On defense, Georgia is led by its linebacking cores. They're fast, they're nasty, they're aggressive. Jordan Jenkins and Tim Kimbrough and Leonard Floyd, those guys are 3 of the top 4 tacklers on the team. And I know that they've only played a couple of bad teams early on. Jordan Jenkins already has 6.5 tackles for loss. Going to be a very, very stingy defense down there that South Carolina will face. That's all from what South Carolina will face against Georgia. What's Georgia going to get from the Gamecocks, Josh?
Well, they're going to get a backup quarterback in Perry Orth, a junior, a former walk-on, a guy whose teammates, I think, really like him. And I think
it's a great story if it works.
It's absolutely a feel-good story, and his teammates, I think, will play hard for him. I don't think that that's a factor. Connor Mitch is out for 4 to 6 weeks with a separated shoulder. Defensively, you know, South Carolina wants the second half defense against Kentucky and no part of that first half defense. I still don't think we know what South Carolina's got defensively because they've been so bad in first halves and so good in second halves, and I'm not sure they know what they've got. What I don't expect is for Georgia to roll over South Carolina. Although they are a 17-point favorite, the second biggest negative spread for South Carolina since 2009. I think South Carolina keeps it close because Steve Spurrier gives these guys the devil and because South Carolina always seems to keep it close against Georgia. I don't think Perry Orth will be overwhelmed. I think that Georgia is really close to a full-on quarterback problem there. And if you do some good things early and they have a quarterback issue, things could start going your way. Overall, I think Georgia 24-17. I think that the Bulldogs are the more talented team and should win the game, but I don't expect a blowout.
Yeah, I agree with you, Josh, and if this game was at home, I would probably be calling the upset because of the reasons you said. It's Steve Spurrier against Georgia. He loves to beat these guys more than anybody, but it's on the road. South Carolina's coming off just a brutal, heartbreaking loss, and while they say they bounced back from it, you got to just look at the talent perspective. I think they will keep it close. Perry Orth will surprise a few folks, but ultimately Nick Chubb and Georgia will pull this one out. Bulldogs 31-21.
We'll have all the preview action for you before the game and all the post-game action for you after the game, so stick with us at GoGamecocks.com.